What is going on, everybody? Week 13, running back starts and sits. Another crazy week.
Yes, indeed.
Going to be as bold as we can, but sometimes the boldness just doesn't fit the scenario.
Exactly.
So we're going to try to be as bold as we can. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of disappointment in this position this week.
Yeah, man.
The McKinnons and Darkwoods and all these guys who we had high hopes for.
Yeah.
Didn't do a whole lot.
No.
Thanks, NFL coaches.
Good job.
Good job, guys. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into a few names here. Like I said, some are more bolder than others, but you're in one of three spots, like I said earlier in one of our earlier shows. You're either locked in the playoffs, fighting for the playoffs, or out of the playoffs, trying to play spoiler.
Yeah.
So we're going to swing for the fences here on a few of them, but if you guys got questions about somebody we don't cover, send us a comment. We'll help you out.
Yeah.
We're going to help you out until the season's over. Whether you're in it or out of it.
That's right.
We still got to win every week.
Every week.
That's right.
We don't quit here, baby.
That's right. All right, go ahead and hit us off, Matt. Who you got?
All right. Well, I want to go just a tad bit bold, I guess you'd say. Let's go with Joe Mixon against the Steelers. And here's the thing. It's going to be one of those games, like I said, it's going to be ugly. You know, these guys are going to be going at each other. It's a rivalry, and he's a rookie coming into it. But, you know, once he put on that jersey, you know, he was inducted to the Steeler bingo rivalry. And him and Bell kind of got a little thing going on. So that's kind of, you know, the reason why I got this because, you know, it's kind of alluding to another one of my starts. But Joe Mixon, you know, he's getting the work. He's getting the volume. We don't really see Hill or, well, excuse me, he's in IR, but Gio. It's going to be one of those things, man. You know, they're going to try to establish the run game. It's going to be just a ugly, drag them out, low-scoring game, I think.
Where are they going to drag him to?
Hopefully across the goal line, you know, especially if you start him. But, yeah, it's going to be, you know, like I said, he wants to prove something. I really don't know the origination of this whole Mixon-Bell rivalry personally. But, you know, they've been going at each other on Twitter and, you know, all social media and stuff like that. And he's a young pup, man. He wants to show that he's, you know, just as good.
There may be some good celebrations if one of them scores this week.
Yeah.
There may be a little bit of back and forth right there.
Yeah.
I'm sure they got something planned.
Yeah.
Mixon had a great week this past week. And you know why? I mean, I played against him. So, of course, he had a great week this week.
Right.
Anybody who plays against me has a great week.
Or if I trade him.
Or if you trade them, then they go off.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I'm going to go with somebody who leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. That's Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah.
He's almost to the point where you can't sit him, but you don't want to start him.
Yeah.
But as of right now, you're going to have to sit him. Unfortunately. I mean, dude was getting, 20 points a game there in fantasy for a few weeks. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like it's Latavius' backfield.
Yeah.
It's kind of, McKinnon is still somewhat involved. I mean, he's getting 13 carries a week or so, which is okay with the passing down work.
Yeah.
He's just not going anywhere with it. 13 carries for 23 yards this week.
Man.
Week before, 14 carries for 48. Week before, 10 for 32. He's just not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He is very big play dependent, and he was getting those big plays when Dalvin first went out, and now he's not. And without those big plays, he's killing a lot of people because they're not just starting him as a flex. They're starting him as an RB2.
Yeah.
And he's not that. I mean, he is no more than a flex play rest of season. They're going to be going to Atlanta, who's a decent defense. But Murray's getting the work.
Yeah.
Murray's getting all the goal line work. And that offense is great, and they get down in the red zone a lot.
Yeah.
And Murray is the one who's getting the ball. And if that's the case and McKinnon's out of the touchdown factor, it loses a lot of value.
Yeah, he's a big play guy, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, again, it's kind of almost like that whole Derrick Henry DeMarco situation. Derrick gets to work for the majority of the part, and then, hey, they'll put in DeMarco's, and he'll fall across the end zone.
Fall across the goal line.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of alluded to it when I was talking about Mixon, and I know this is not a bold situation by no means. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of Bell, but I'm going with him this week.
You going with Leveon?
Yeah. I'm going with, who did I say?
You said Bell.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure hopefully they don't think about Bell Biv DeVoe, but
maybe.
They might.
I ain't heard about them in forever.
it's time for him to make a comeback.
Do I need to sing a verse?
Moving on.
Okay.
But yeah. Le'Veon, again, like I said, it's going to be one of those situations. I don't think it's going to be a lot of scoring in this game because of the rivalry. They're going to be in Cincinnati. So Big Ben is going to be forced to give Le'Veon a lot of work. It's just going to be a slow drag out type of game, man. It's going to be low scoring. I could see maybe, 17-3, somewhere in there.
Bengals win?
No, I'm not going that.
Not going
crazy,
that far.
No.
Not going that far.
But he's going to get a lot of volume. I mean, again, I know it's probably a no-brainer start, but it's going to be one of those situations that you got to go with the volume.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Antonio Brown is going to have that type of performance like he had this past week. So
we'll find out.
Yeah,
it will be a dang slobber knocker.
Yeah, especially depending on the weather. I mean, we don't know.
Yep, but both teams are somewhat used to playing outside in the cooler weather. So, but yeah, heavy run game probably for both teams this week.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with a guy here who I'm gonna give him a nickname that we've given to somebody else.
Okay.
The other person we use it for is in a positive.
Right.
This one is 100% negative, and that's Ajayi.
Yeah.
This dude has single-handedly made you happy for drafting him when you got him. You then immediately regretted drafting him after week 2.
Yeah.
You immediately love hanging on to him when he gets traded to Philadelphia. And now you hate yourself for keeping him and not trading him when his value was high.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, every fantasy show you watch, all the experts, everybody's saying, hey, he's going to get more work. He's going to get more work. Going to get more work. He had 5 carries this week. 2 less carries than he had the week before.
Yeah.
He's getting the bigger plays. I mean, he fumbled on the one. The ball went into the end zone, and Aguilar hopped on top of it.
Yeah.
So that would have salvaged a fantasy day. But it's sad.
It doesn't make sense.
They don't need him. The offense is too good. They don't need him. They're sticking with Blunt. Clement's still involved. I mean, Alshon's starting to come around.
Yeah.
They don't need him. Ertz had another great game. That offense is just clicking, and they're going to roll with what works. They were winning without Ajayi.
Yeah.
They're going to win with Ajayi. And Ajayi he's stuck on your bench. I mean, he's playing against Seattle this week. I'm not scared about Seattle anymore because they've had so many injuries on defense. It's more just the workload. I can't trust it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like I said, you wonder why they even traded for him. Because again, the offense was rolling, prior to him, and now they're not using him like they should. So that is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go with a guy that we talked about when we were talking about Mr. Garoppolo in the previous video, who will start to see an uptick. But right now, I don't think it'll be this week. I think it'll be more of a game flow situation. And I'm not sure if I'm talking about Carlos Hyde going against the Bears. And I can see Hyde getting a little work at the very beginning, but I don't know. It just depends on a lot of factors. Now, if the weather's ugly, it could change. It could be one of those situations where they have to depend on the run game. But, that's still, kind of early right now. So that may be something you want to take a look at. But if it's a nice day, I don't know. I just can't see Hyde having a lot of work against the Bears this week. They're going to try to get the passing game going. So we'll see. But I don't like Carlos Hyde this week.
All right, well, we're going to agree to disagree on this one because one of the starts I have for the week, Mr. Carlos Hyde.
All right.
So make sure you guys comment below. You going Team Mac or Team Jake this week on Hyde because, this is why I'm going to start Hyde. And a lot of it kind of depends on the whole Garoppolo situation.
Right.
If Garoppolo is named the starter, that passing offense gets an immediate uptick. Despite having a lot of weapons, they're going to have to pay more attention in the secondary.
Yeah.
If that secondary or those linebackers are drawn out of the box at all, teams all year long have known that if they could stop Carlos Hyde, that's pretty much the only weapon they got.
Yeah.
So if they're having to drop back into coverage because Garoppolo's that much better of a quarterback, it's going to open up some holes for Hyde. And it is. It's Chicago in December. Yeah. It's going to be cold. It's not going to affect Jimmy too much. He's used to it being from New England. But a lot of these other guys from San Francisco, I mean, they're not used to it. Some of these California guys. I know it gets chilly in San Francisco and all, but
right.
I'm going to start Hyde this week against Chicago. He's one of their only offensive weapons. They don't have a whole lot. He got like 13 targets yesterday, or this past weekend. I don't think he sees that much with Garoppolo. I think that has something to do with Beathard checking down and running for his life. But that's not going to stay. But nobody else is getting the work in that backfield. Chicago is a decent defense, especially at home. They play with a lot more, attitude at home.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to do something in order to stay in the game. And if Garoppolo starts, like I said, Hyde is for me, I'm starting Hyde just because I think it takes some people out of the box and maybe opens up some holes for him. So we're going to agree to disagree this week.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
That's right.
That's what it's all about.
Comment below.
Let us know what you think.
That's right.
We talked about this in the previous video when we were talking about Dak and that whole Cowboy offense, which has just made a turn for the worse. The Cowboy running backs, I'm not too sold on who they're going to go with. 1 week is Morris. 1 week is Smith. McFadden, we know it's not going to be anymore because he's going bye-bye. But it's just one of those situations, man. Like I said, you have no clue. They don't have any consistency whatsoever. If they were to establish, okay, this guy, we're going with him. We're going to give him 20 touches so we can, help Dak out. They're not doing that, and I don't know. It's so many different variables. I don't know if it's the line. I don't know if it's just, play calling. But the reality of the situation is the running backs in Dallas are no good at all. And going against Redskins, they have a decent front, good linebackers. Secondaries, they're going to lock down Dez. So you're not going to be able to run the ball.
Yeah.
I
want zero parts of the Cowboys offense right now.
Yes.
And as a Dak owner, I hate saying that.
Yeah, I'm a Dez owner. It's just...
It is what it is, but it's not trustworthy at this point. And there's too much on the line this time of the year to depend on it.
Yeah.
We mentioned a game from this past week in an earlier episode about the WWE Royal Rumble that happened between the Broncos and the Raiders this past weekend. And Marshawn Lynch is somebody that at that time when everything was going down, he was one trying to stop everything.
Yeah.
You could tell that he didn't want to get caught up in nothing like he did the last time and have to miss a game. I mean, when it got time for Talib to leave the field, he had to walk right through the Raiders bench. And who was the Raider that was standing right beside him escorting him? It was Marshawn Lynch. I think he was trying to show that he's, extending the olive branch. He's not trying to be an instigator. I think his demeanor and his attitude, the way he plays, kind of throws him into that category of being a bully or a bad boy.
Yeah.
I don't think he really is. Lynch is kind of, he's not a softie by any means, but he's not a jerk. You know what I mean? And what does that have to do with fantasy football, you ask? Absolutely nothing. But what I'm trying to say here is the team, I think, gains respect for him. He's not going to go out and rush for 100 yards probably this week. I doubt he gets over 75.
Right.
But he's starting to get the touchdowns, and that's exactly what we thought was going to happen with Lynch at the beginning of the season. We weren't looking for a 1,000-yard rusher. We were talking about a guy going to get 15 to 20 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he's got some making up to do. He's got a 5. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's nowhere near it, but he's going against the Giants at home. The Giants' defense, some weeks they're better than none, but they're not elite by any means. Lynch is getting the work. I mean, he had 26 carries in that game against Denver. He only had 67 yards, but he got 26 carries. And that's a lot. I mean, that's almost double the most he's had in any game this year.
That's true.
I think they realize that they're going to have to start to lean on him a little bit. And as these last few games go, I think they were saving him for this point. Yeah. I think they were kind of resting him for this end-of-season playoff run. And the lineup they got coming up, they got the Giants, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys the next 3. Those could be 3 heavy Lynch games, so I'm starting Lynch this week. Yeah,
that's pretty good. I mean, and again, like you said, it is one of those situations that I think that the latter part of the fantasy season for a Lynch owner you'll reap the benefits because he will get those goal line touches. Well, the last guy I want to talk about, and again, he's another kind of a no-brainer in a sense, but the reason being, it's a lot of people out there because I've seen the questions. I know you have as well. A lot of people have deep benches when it comes to running backs. Some people went that route when they drafted. So if you're trying to decide between Gurley and, let's say, Mark Ingram, for me this week, I'm going to say Gurley. I say starting with confidence, against Arizona. Not saying that Arizona has a bad defensive front by no means, but the thing is, like we alluded to before when we were talking about golf, Patrick Peterson is going to kind of dictate the flow of the game. In a sense, he's going to lock down Fitz. He might even shadow. It just depends, who. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean Fitz. I meant Sammy Watkins. Yeah, he's going to lock him down. So Jarrett's going to be limited. So therefore, McVay will lean heavily on the running game, whether if it be in the passing, short dump passes, or just run him up the gut. Gurley has proven that he's back this year. It was a lot of doubters in the preseason and first part of the year, wondering about him, especially the schedule going forward. But Gurley is RB1 every week for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. He's somebody you got to have ingrained in the lineup. I think the Rams team next year is going to be really, really exciting.
It's going to be scary, man.
It's going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're playing great now. Don't discount this season, but next year could be the start to like a Rams dynasty, which is
possible.
It's weird to even talk about.
Yeah.
This could be the best thing they've had since the whole Kurt Warner days of the greatest show on turf. It's getting there.
Yeah.
And McVay, he's a big part of it.
He's the key. Yeah.
I'm going to talk about somebody who, right now in PPR leagues, half-point PPR leagues, he's running back number 14.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think back about what you've heard about him this year, you don't hear a whole lot.
Right.
It's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Run CMC.
That's right.
He's number 14 overall in some leagues on ESPN here now, and it's not by mistake. He's not running the ball, which I think we all kind of realize he's not a between-the-tackle runner.
Yeah.
He's way better PPR player, but, the dude's averaging almost 12 points a game fantasy-wise.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be playing at New Orleans. New Orleans don't know yet if they're going to have their DBs back or not yet.
Right.
But ever since the trade of Benjamin, the Panthers are going back to what they were 2 years ago. Short, quick passes. Funchess all of a sudden looks like Benjamin did.
Yeah.
Funchess is playing great. McCaffrey's he's actually starting to get more carries now. He had 7 carries for 62 yards this week.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't bad. For him, that's great. He only had another 2 catches for 35 yards, but, he's scoring touchdowns. He's way involved in the game plan.
Yeah.
New Orleans can score on just about anybody. So if they're scoring, Carolina's going to have to score to keep up. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey is going to be a big part of that offense. So I'm sticking with run CMC this week and starting him.
Baby. Yes,
I couldn't believe it when I saw how highly he was up there because you don't hear a whole lot about him.
No.
He's not doing anything super flashy. He's
getting the job done, though.
Yeah, he is.
That offense, actually, that whole offense is going to be intriguing the next few weeks, man.
I think if it wasn't for people like Alvin Kamara and stuff like that, Fournette, some of those other rookies that were doing so good, he'd be getting a lot more love right now.
Yes.
But I think those other guys, the Dalvin Cook at the beginning of the year, they kind of overshadowed him. He kind of got lost in the pack. But
this is probably one of the better years for rookie running backs. Rookies in general. But yeah.
Yeah, they're exciting to watch this year if they can stay healthy. Those were our running back start sits for the week. If you guys got anybody that you want to ask us about we didn't cover, ask below. Make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing. We appreciate all the love we're getting. Reach out to us on Twitter, here, whatever. We'll help you out.
Yes, indeed.
Make sure you be patient with us. We got lots and lots of questions.
Yeah.
If you scroll through those comments at the bottom of the video, you'll see one of our logos next to everyone because we answer all of them.
That's right.
Well, we try to get to every single one of them.
Yeah.
Sundays can get a little hairy, guys. If you're trying to ask questions at 12:30 on Sunday afternoon, it's a little rough. Get them in early. Give us some time.
Yeah.
But we appreciate all the love. Thanks again for all the support. And if you need anything, let us know. We're here for you. You guys have a good rest of your week. Thanks.
Peace.